Hey y'all, welcome to the Blockers Podcast. I'm joined today with Art Thomas. If you are somebody who is navigating, trying to move into the content world, trying to become profitable, this is the episode for you. Art, she works right now as a production
Coordinator.
or coordinator on an HGTV show, and but now she's trying to like build her own platform. So this is going to be a really good episode. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm really just going to go swinging with this first question. Um, what fears from your old life have you translated into your content journey?
Hmm. Oh my God, there's so many fears. I think the one that comes to mind first is definitely the fear of putting myself out there and knowing there are people in the world that I don't technically want having access to me, having that access to me. I'm posting content or trying to post content about like different areas of my life. And I don't, when there's some people who I've revoked access to me, but because I'm posting publicly, you can see I can't block you on everything. So
That's
that's
very true.
definitely one of the biggest ones is that there are people who have revoked access to me that still have that access with being a public figure.
What do you, I completely relate. Like there are some people that I literally just don't know their handles. Like, and that's the reality of it. So I can't, yeah, like you're saying, I can't block them. But what is like the worst that would happen?
They try contacting me again.
Would that disrupt your whole life or would it just disrupt your nervous system for a moment?
I think my nervous system mostly. It depends on the person. There are some people who might destroy my life.
Well, we hope not.
But yeah, but that's what therapy's for.
Boom. Okay. Okay. So like, um, I just was looking at your page. What is your direction that you're trying to go?
Mhm.
And like, yeah, how are you going to get to that goal of you said 500K a year in revenue?
That'd be extreme. I would love that. Okay. Another hurdle that I'm facing is I feel a lot of pressure to be a different person on different platforms. Some things perform better on other platforms, like having something be more personality driven on TikTok versus something more aesthetically pleasing on Pinterest and Instagram. And so I feel a lot of pressure to create different forms of content or taking one piece of content and filtering out through different systems in order to post it on different platforms. And that feels overwhelming also. But I see myself posting more about what are different changes I can make to my life currently to make me happier. And rather than it being more about me, it's just inspiring other people to be like, hey, maybe if you invested in this puzzle just to have something to do after work and relax your mind, like what are some hobbies that other people can pick up or some new ways to experience life, to have a new perspective and just truly enjoy life. That's the goal that I'm trying to communicate with the content that I want to make in the future more is not just like I'm doing this, but also like this is something that helped me feel better about my life. Is it something that you would want to pick up to make you feel better about your life?
And when it comes to like goal setting and things like that, what are some processes that you've found specifically awesome in other areas of of your life that you might want to implement into this new leg of your content journey? Because with your content before, I was seeing a lot of like snack review videos, that kind of thing. Were you wanting to work with those brands? And I know I kind of asked two questions there, but yeah, approach that however you will.
Yeah. So on TikTok, I mostly reviewed exotic snacks, and I love the idea of having exotic snacks and limited edition snacks sent to me because it gets expensive. But also, that's like something that brings me joy. It's just a sweet little treat or a fun little treat that nobody's ever tried before. And just trying something new. I'm a big advocate for trying something new. I struggle a little bit with depression, and having new experiences really like shifts my life into everything's awful into like, oh, this is different. What is this like? So that's that portion of it. And it is something that I would like to continue having as a part of my content, but I want to shy away from it only being about the limited edition snacks and the exotic snacks, and even creating just recipes that with things that you have in your home, and trying to find a new way to incorporate those things also And I forgot the first part of the question.
I think the first part was, what goal setting activities, like habits that you've put in different areas, do you think would be especially impactful in your content journey?
So I am going to harp on this for the rest of the podcast, but trying new things is like my biggest thing. And that's been the most life-changing thing about my life. So certain things that I've done to change just how I exist in the world. My most recent incorporation is I made a list of everything I would ever need to do ever in my life. So from cleaning my apartment to washing my hair, to creating content, to playing video games, everything that I would ever want to do and need to do in my life. And I've assigned them to different days. So now I know anything health related is going to end up on a Monday. So most of my appointments, dentist, any appointments for my health typically aligns with Monday. On Tuesday, that's my content, my computer day. So it's like financial planning, content creation, and truly just honing in on anything I can do on my laptop. On Wednesday, that's my self-care day. So if I'm in a depressive funk and I like haven't been taking care of myself, Wednesday is the day that like I have to shower, I have to brush my hair, I have to moisturize. Um, Thursday is my cleaning day. So that's like deep clean the entire apartment or hell, tidy just a little bit because I have been just dropping things everywhere for the sake of just dropping. And Friday is my hobby day. So any cleaning that I didn't do on Thursday, because I tend to not do everything on one day, I'll finish it up on Friday. And as a little treat, I get to play some video games, try a new hobby, and keep on that. Saturdays for socializing and Sundays are for rotting. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to clean. So that's kind of just been my goal incorporation for sure.
So I noticed like a lot of the videos that you were saying, and that's an amazing system. That's so fun. A lot of the videos that you had recently made were in 2024.
Oh yeah.
So what has happened between now and then? You've become a completely different person that I can see. And
Oh,
so it's like,
1000%.
it's like, okay, now you're relaunching yourself almost into this online space. Do you have any ideas for a launch video? And obviously, we'll get more into kind of the strategies of like actually making money and things like that. But just, yeah, what's going through your head right now?
I love the videos that I create. I feel like old me is so wise. As I get older, I realize the younger version of me had it all right. And so I'm rewatching those videos and it's just like, wow, that is so insightful. I needed to hear that. And I created that with my own brain. And it's always fun to go back and see the things that I realized because as you live life, you forget the realizations you have and how wise that you were and the things that you learned. So I'm always grateful to have those old videos. But also that was an extremely rough time in my life. That was not the worst my anxiety has been, but definitely, I would say third worst that my anxiety has been in my entire life. And granted, all of the worst has happened in the last 5 years. That really sucks. And I'm working through it. But it's been so powerful to relive those experiences, knowing how far I've come. It's been a blessing to know that I'm so much in a much better space now. But it also weighs a little bit to edit those things. Something that people don't tell you about content creation is that when you rewatch footage, you're reliving those moments and re-feeling those feelings. So as much as I'm far removed from that form of anxiety, editing was a bit hard and it took me almost a year to publish it just because of how I didn't want to relive being that anxious. And that was a hurdle that I really struggled with. So it's great to know that it's out there and anyone who feels anxious knows that they're not alone in that. But I'm so grateful to be in a better place now. And when I start posting again in real time, it's just like, look how far I've come. Um, yeah, so I'm really excited to just post more from a perspective of here's how you can change your life without directly being like you, but inherently being like, hey, these are changes that I've made. And if it works, pick it up, try it. And if it works, love, incorporate it into your life. If it doesn't, leave it. It's okay, but you tried something new.
I love that. Yeah, that's kind of something that I'm working on doing right now. Like, I'm kind of rebranding my personal brand. I'm actually literally editing a video right now called like how I'm redesigning my personal brand, even though I didn't really design it in the first place. I just threw a couple colors together. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, but it wasn't
Mhm.
super developed because I mean, whatever, do it scared, right? Um, so narrating that bridge almost, that shift of you. That's kind
Yeah.
of what that first kind of video coming back is that kind of what you're thinking? Or do you kind of want to shy away from living too much in the past? Like, who is your audience too, I guess? Like, is it the past you, encouraging them? What's that look like?
I am hoping my audience are people who really want to evolve their life and live a happier life. I have had depression for a majority of my life, and I think the easiest way to combat that, other than like being an active person, has also just been like trying new things and really experiencing all of the different ways you can experience life. Like, yes, you can wake up and have a morning routine that you see on social media, or you can also be someone who impulsively buys a trip to Miami. Woo! Like, your day doesn't have to be the same every day. And if what you see online isn't how you want to view it. I just want people to be encouraged by the fact that there isn't one way, there isn't a right way. You can switch things up and even trying so many different things, like you can evolve your life into being a happier version of yourself. I really am gunning for my dream life, and I'm not there yet, but I see myself being so much closer, especially compared to where I was last year. Like my mental health space is in a completely different framework, and I'm so grateful to have bettered myself there. And now it's just like, okay, building blocks, money, a career I'm happy with, new hobbies that bring me joy, a stronger social community. Like there's so many different ways to elevate your life, and I have so many of the things that I listed, and right now my goal is like finding a job that drives me. And for me right now, I believe it to be social media. It's so exciting to me, and that's what I want to gun for. And I think showing even last year me in my anxious state, I'm so excited to achieve my dream life because it's like, look, you can get here too. I just want to be that encouragement for people. And I know I'm not at the spot where people dream of yet, but I think I'm at the building blocks. And I think sharing those building blocks too would help inspire people to be like, I can do that. I can change my life. I can be happier. That's who I want to be.
Love that yet again. And I feel like we're kind of in similar spots in that regard. Like I'm very new to a podcast. I'm very new to content creation. I did start like making content about a year ago. And my focus has really just shifted. Like I'm just so let's help the people build the business. Let's get the money. Let's give people access to the information that they need because nobody's gatekeeping information. But people, I mean, people try, but it's impossible to do these days because Google exists. But people just don't know how to
Okay.
search. They don't know what to dream about in order to build an ecosystem of possibility. So, how did you get involved with HGTV in the first place? And like, how aligned is that? And what would that transition like, do you think? Look like, do you think?
I got involved because I made too many cookies during quarantine. So I made too many cookies. And so I reached out to some of my friends and I was like, hey, would you like some cookies? And who turns down cookies? So everybody said yes. I went over on the train to them, deliver the cookies. And when I got on the train back home, I saw an ad for, do you want to be a PA? And I applied for a PA is a production assistant, for those who don't know, and in the film industry specifically. It's like the entry level position. I had absolutely no idea how to get involved. And so I applied, I got accepted into the program, and they placed me in a job where specifically an internship. And the internship just so happened to be in the show for HGTV. And at the end of my internship, I arranged a meeting with some of my supervisors from throughout the internship, and they're just like, "Hey, what are you doing after this?" And I was like, "I'm probably gonna snack for a little bit, rest, and look for another job." And they're just like, "You don't have to, just join us." So from there, I worked my way up, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I love my job. I think I'm too good at it, and I'm ready to try something new and learn some new things. But I wanted really badly to be a part of the film industry, and to be a part of a TV show is not the same, but similar enough. And I've grown so much here. And I think incorporating some of those skills into the things that I'm newly passionate for, because this is a passion that I had as a kid to be a part of the TV and film industry. And I got to live it for going on 5 years, going on 6 years. So I'm excited to have a new passion and drive towards that also. And I'm just started making some cookies. I have them sitting in the fridge. So who knows? This might be the start of like my content creation blowing up.
Full circle moment there, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, boom. So when are you making this video? When are you becoming this person? Hold on. That too. I feel like I keep d doing two things at once right now, but I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work in the edit. But boom. Um, I want to focus on first, what kind of brands would you want to work with? And are you thinking brands as your main source, which I personally have an opinion about? Or are you thinking about making an offer that you would be able to more re consistently sustain for yourself and then supplement that with brand work?
I have struggled a lot with the idea of putting brands as my forefront. Um, I'll admit it here. I hate capitalism. Who doesn't? It is I feel like in also incorporating new hobbies and experiences into your life, part of that also is revolting against capitalism and putting fun as the forefront of living life versus how do I make a profit. Even part of it, and I believe it to be a revolutionary act, I started crocheting and I bought a sewing machine and I'm learning to sew. I've been seeing a lot of videos about how Zara is charging like $70 for a polyester shirt, and that's not even great quality. And I think we've lost the art of creating our own clothing. And because we don't have the knowledge of making our own clothes, they have the legitimacy of putting a high price tag on a poor quality garment for the sheer fact of you can't make this. Um, and so learning and developing those skills, not only just as a hobby and for fun, but also as a revolution, that is something that I'm really excited about. And even with that, as I love fashion, I try my best to dress the best I can every time I go out, or even at home. I work from home. I'll get dressed up for the sake of just it's fun. I like cute and it's motivating to me. And but I think about it and it's like what fashion brands truly align with what I associate myself with. I love a natural fiber. I don't want to incorporate too many plastics in my wardrobe, and that's hard when you're working with. I know Princess Polly is one that a lot of creators work with, but that's not one that I want to work with for the sheer fact of like it's another Zara where it's not great quality clothes for a price tag that most people can justify, but I would say it's pretty high for the quality that you're actually getting. So I know Quince is one that I would be excited to work with because they specialize. I think I know them for being affordable cashmere, a natural fabric. Um, and the pieces being more affordable than a higher price tag. But even with learning how to create garments, it's just like I understand the high price tag now that paying $200 for a shirt is excessive, but when it's great quality and great material, and with the skill set of having to knit on top of that, the labor that is put into actually creating the garment and understanding it, it's just like I see why it's so high. Um, but then there are brands that I grew up with that I love to this day, like Nintendo. Oh my God, I would love to work with Nintendo. I am a little bit of a gamer girly. So there are brands that it's just, I would be so excited to work with them, but it isn't at the forefront. And it has been a battle of like, should I be more marketable for companies or should I put emphasis on my true moral compass of like vive la revolution, like really truly powerfully just incorporate ways of life to fight capitalism.
So I want to say something, maybe it's controversial. I do like capitalism. And I want to
What?
ask you, like, in the world where you're saying, here are certain companies that I do like, and here are some that I don't like, how to you is capitalism um like giving us, for me, it's giving us all the space to create that option of like, oh, I'm gonna charge too much for this, even though, but that's like the brand. That's the brand's problem in my mind. I think there are brands that are very good and sustainable that still benefit from capitalism because capitalism to me is having the opportunity to create my own opportunity and create my own economy within myself and the people around me. Um, how do you? envision that, I guess. What are your thoughts on that?
I love living in community. I love that my neighbor honestly just dropped off some leftovers that he had, and I'm about to do the same with my cookies and return the favor. And that exchange, I love people and having that exchange with people, which is another reason why I like content creation. I love the socialization of it. I grew up watching a lot of YouTube videos because I didn't have too many friends growing up. And so that was my form of socialization, was consuming content. Um, but I feel we are in a capitalist society, and there's not much I can do to fight that other than like truly dismantle a system, which I can't do single-handedly. Um, and we have to work with the society we live in. I am not against it to, mm, I want to choose my words carefully here. But I don't love that I start a new hobby and I'm excited to share it with people, and their response is like, how do you capitalize off of that? How do you profit from that? That's the form of capitalism that I'm against. But when it comes to options, I love that. I love having different things that work better for certain people or certain moments of my own life, and having the option to consume that item or that product or that service for the sake of it'll be bettering this area of my life currently. But there are parts of it that I'm not a fan of, where it's just like money, money, money.
I agree. What I think is like really like um I think capitalism does, when you harp too much on materialism and merging capitalism with that and like saying, okay, people have to have an abundance to survive. I don't think that's great.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good to learn the skill of making abundance so that you can have a large impact on the people around you in a positive way. I really think it comes down to the individual. Obviously, living in a capitalistic society creates more people who have a money first mentality, but um, I truly think you can fight back against it on that individual level where it's like, okay, well, it's not necessarily about money in this regard. It can be on this side, which this podcast is actually about making money for the thing that you're talking about, content creation, because it's a career. This is what we're talking about. Um, but I think if you lived in a socialistic society, the taxes on what you would make you mad. That's my thoughts. What do you think about that?
To my understanding of what a socialist society is that everybody gets what they need at the basis of it. And if you make a surplus, the taxation on it would go back to the government to supply those who have made less with what they need. Um, because I don't strive for excess, I would not be upset with being taxed more if I made more. Um, I think if I ever am in a point in my life where I want to have that excess to store to feel comfortable, I would understand why it would be upsetting. But I don't see that for myself, and I haven't been that person in the past. So I don't think it'll be upsetting to me.
I guess my perspective on that is I like to think of saving up excess as the excess is for my future generations. Like I'm helping my children, I'm helping my grandchildren and things like that. And even 500K, that's not that much in the grand scheme of things because like two of those is two college degrees kind of things, or like
Yeah.
half of that is two college degrees. And it's like we want our kids to be educated. And then if I had 500K, and I'm just keep using this number because that's the one that you use, and I just want it to be applicable. I don't know. But if I had 500K and then I'm cut down, whatever, da, 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 I don't know. But I've seen some countries where it's almost 50%. If you see Italy, it's nearing 50%. It's about 40, something like that. And to me, that's terrifying. No, it's not terrifying. I'm not afraid of anything, but it's like concerning that people would say, I can take this large percentage when some people in socialistic societies, I have seen it in different countries, they abuse the system. And you're probably saying, okay, well, how is it abuse if you're just trying to survive? Well, as you said, in a socialistic society, we receive the bare minimum. Like we get what we need and then we make more. But if they just get what they need and they continually are living a lavish life on the shoulders of the others in the country, how does that turn around? But these are just questions. This is not supposed to be a debate, it's not a political debate. But I'm just like interested in hearing what you think because this is what I think.
Yeah, I think if everyone gets what they need, excess is for comfort. And I understand it. And especially when it comes to creating generational wealth. Um, I I just want to be happy. I just want to live life where I'm happy. And if I have everything that I need, at that stress of not needing to worry about rent or food and knowing that I'll have those things, the survival baseline, then you can really focus on what truly brings you joy. I'm not against people who want to create a better future for themselves and their families. That is just not my forefront. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, on to back to what we were talking about. That kind of took a derailing, but um, anyway, I respect our clarity of thought and just like how we're approaching this conversation. It's whatever. Not whatever. It's good. It was a good conversation moment.
Yeah.
Back to what we're saying. So you don't want to have the corporate kind of um, heading ruling over your income. So what is your other proposition for making money on social media? Is it getting famous and then you get paid by Google, which is another corporation? But
Yeah. No, I would hate to be famous. That is one of the most terrifying things, which is another contradiction is like me being a face forward content creator because there is the option to not be faceless. I just was not smart enough to think of that. um, but I'm okay with playing the game. I just truly do. I think that's another blocker that I have is the conversation of morality versus stability. Um I know there are brands that people protest every time that when people accept a brand offer from those brands, there are people in their communities that are like, I can't believe that you accepted money from this brand. And that's something that I truly have to take a step back and consider because I went through a traumatic experience 3 years ago that has left me without a home, and I'm grateful to be in a home that I feel safe in. Um, but I know back then I definitely would have done whatever to feel comfortable again, especially financially. And so I don't, when I see a creator take accepting a brand offer from a brand that I personally wouldn't morally wouldn't accept, I also consider that they could have proposed an offer that would have changed their life for the better and had that sense of security. Um, and I hope to get to a point where I feel fiscally safe and it wouldn't be a question of whether or not I would have to sacrifice my morals. But I think starting out, that is something for me to consider, especially as somebody who isn't entirely for capitalism. I I do struggle a bit with like how much of my content is just me creating for the sake of creating, me creating for the sake of creating a business, me creating for the sake of making money. How marketable, how palatable do I have to be in this and that's another struggle that I have because I love creating content. But I also considered becoming a UGC creator, a user generated content creator. And they make essentially ads for brands, and that's their income. And oftentimes it can be faceless. Some people opt to show their face, and it is profitable. But just being another marketing agent and supporting businesses that potentially you don't morally align with, but they provide you a safety net financially. That's definitely something that I have considered, especially as a smaller creator.
I'm sure there are brands that morally align with you. I bet
Oh,
if you started sharing like more of these perspectives in these videos about, overcoming like certain aspects of your anxiety, creating more of a safe environment for yourself, I feel like you could still have a lucritivity. I don't know if that's a word.
oh yeah.
To your experience on social media, you're saying you want to create a business. Like,
Mhm.
literally, are you thinking creating content while, well, I know you said you're too good at that job. So, how, like I was saying, what would the transition, maybe not what would the transition be like, but what do you think is a good first step towards making a good livable income?
In my head, the first step is reaching out to brands. I already have content out to showcase that I am capable of making content. I am more insecure in my current content that is published as to if it's marketable. Um, in the sense of like, I know I make good content. I'm more unsure of if brands will look at my content and see that their brand can be placed in it. Um, I definitely do consider myself to be more of a personality than a platform. Um, my TikTok, different story because I'm showcasing the food. The food is the content. That easily brands could be like, just do mine. But when it comes to particularly like Nintendo, I haven't posted anything about gaming on any of my platforms just yet. So obviously, I would have to post more content of uh, some form of gaming for Nintendo to even consider me as an option for brand placement. Um, yeah.
So what I'm hearing is lifestyle video.
Yeah.
Nar just maybe going through a day in your life, whatever, narrating it with overcoming this journey, da da da. At the end of the day, maybe you play a game on a gaming console, smoothly integrating the brand into everything. Not necessarily everything that you do, but just like into different videos. So again, it's coming back to that, making content that you feel confident in. If you see an example of somebody that often gets those brand sponsorships, how can you almost recreate that in your own style with your own voice? You have a soothing voice, by the way. I feel like your
Thank you.
narration and whatever would be really good. If you wanted to move into faceless, I bet you could. You can obviously
Yeah.
delete everything and start over again. It's very possible. But you said you want to be face forward. So in my mind, it's truly just making a vulnerable video. Hi, my name is Art. I am going on this new journey. This is my current position because a lot of realistically, people respect positions. Say, this is what I
Mhm.
am already having experience in, so I know how content and attention works. I know that I'm how to project manage, and just kind of slowly, smoothly talking about your skills while talking about your journey. If you found a way to do that, which I'm sure you know how to do, I'm sure you can script something awesome, overlaying a day in your life, integrating some of these different activities. People get paid for that all the
Mhm.
time. It's not
Yeah.
simple. Actually, it is very simple. You just have to do it consistently. If you just made one video like that and email those brands, send it to them, you don't even necessarily have to post it, but I personally would suggest it because you're entering a new era. You're going to be a boss.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Right.
yeah. And that's the reality of it. So anyway, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? And are you willing to commit to that concept? Or do you have a different idea?
Do I have what? Sorry.
Or do you have a different idea?
Yeah, no, I understand that. I also have been something that I considered, because I think the platform that I'm the most insecure about posting on is Instagram. I think most people believe that way. I feel like a lot of people are just like TikTok, just like press record, hit post, and whatever happens, happens. But I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on Instagram to be a lot more curated, which it don't gotta be. It doesn't have to be. But one thing I have been noticing scrolling through Instagram is every once in a while I'll see a video that I actually enjoy, and I'm just like, this is one that I not only would like, but I want to see more from this creator. And I'll go to their profiles, and they'll all have a pinned video of like who they are and what they do, and like an introduction to them. And that's something that I don't have. And I would be interested in creating that. And I think my why is pretty strong with wanting people to see that life doesn't have to be awful all the time and you can just try new things and it gets better. Um, I think that would be a really, really strong intro. So definitely taking your idea of like a day in my life and creating who I am with that, just to have it pinned. And also, like, it's an opportunity to showcase, like, hey, your brand can go here.
An idea that's just keeps hitting my head. 30-day challenge of trying something new every day to beat depression or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And like it's so marketable. It's so doable. And it will really it's such a vulnerable topic of mental health and just like you're saying,
Mhm.
trying new things as you know. Um, and just like that really brings people vulnerably into your space, into your brand. And the people that follow you from that are not going to be here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. So then when people start to see, when brands start to see, oh, these people, she's actually getting content, like comments. She's actually getting like these DMs. Maybe if you have a video, like people have been asking you these questions about da 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 da. Well, da 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 da. As we know, as we see, but I just want to see you do it because I love to have these talks. I love to have the da 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 da, but I want to see the execution. So if this is not something you want to do at this time, okay, I'm gonna
No, I
cry,
get it. I
but
have been, oh, no, 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 don't cry.
go ahead.
I've been seeing creators really advocate for 30-day challenges or just challenges overall. Like, people love to go on the journey. And I was Vlogmas comes in December. And if you don't know what Vlogmas is, it's a content creation kind of marathon-ish, where typically people post from the 1st of December all the way up until Vlogmas. So that's 25 videos going live every day, like one video a day. And I like doing it. The first Vlogmas I did was in 2022, I believe. And I enjoyed it so much. And I think it was 2023, actually. Yes, because I tried to do it 2024 and failed, and we're in 2025 now. So I did it on YouTube, and I think my goal this year is to do it on Instagram. And hopefully that knocks over my hurdle of posting perfection and curated content on Instagram. It's just like, girl, post something you think is good daily.
Love it. Do you have like a look in your head
A
that you
look.
kind of want to continuously do, or is it just like we're doing life, like life is what life is kind of thing? And sorry, tying it back in to what you said earlier about TikTok being the thing that everybody's not afraid of and Instagram being the thing that people are afraid of. It's really interesting. I've heard people say the opposite. So I think everybody has their own perception of different platforms based on how maybe they first interacted with it or how they just continuously use it. Um, and so I just think like every platform is a platform. Who are you talking to and where are they at? For me, I'm like literally I'm on the brink of deleting TikTok. We'll see, because the people that I want to talk to are like they're not really scrolling TikTok. These people are big
Mm-hmm.
hitters, right? They're maybe on
Yeah.
Instagram looking at the family pictures, whatever, Facebook kind of vibe, but also
Yeah.
creative. And so I kind of want to meet that middle market of like you're saying, a little more higher end, I guess. But I'm not afraid of posting on TikTok ex or on Instagram exactly what I posted on TikTok. But I think me as a content creator, my style is just shifting away from that, like on the spur kind of content creation, but I will capture those thoughts in that style, but I'll just recreate it at a different time, but with my personality still infused because I'm trying to, again, like I said, redesign my personal brand and do it in a way that I feel is authentic to me. And I think it's actually less authentic for me to show a poor version of what I can create when I enjoy content creation and I like making it look good.
A question I have for you, because you mentioned that the last video that I uploaded was recorded back in 2024, and I'm essentially coming back with a rebrand, and you are actively going through a rebrand. So, what advice can you give for people who are changing who they are online?
I love that you asked that question. I'm going to send you a link for a new Zoom meeting because this one's about to expire. So,
Okay.
okay, bye.
Bye.
Unfortunately, I'm sitting here editing this now and I cannot find the second recording. So if you'd like to hear more from either of us, go ahead and check out the links in the description. And yeah, like and subscribe. Ciao.